Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. And for those in Canada, happy Thanksgiving. We are here. It's Friday morning coffee and conversation with me, Jen Snow, your soul regression coach, clinical hypnotherapist, Reiki master, energy healer, intuitive animal communicator. It's always getting that list gets longer and longer, which is kind of fun. Hello, everybody. How are you guys today? How is your week gone? I know it's been a bit of a beat, and I first off want to say thank you for your patience and your prayers and support. Ozzy seems to be getting to the other side, so his injury seems to be improving over the last 48 hours, 24 hours, especially. Haven't checked on him this morning, but I will be going out there and doing his wound care per se. So thank you very much. I know that things get a little bit chaotic, and unfortunately I had to do a lot of wound care, and so it kind of cut into the extra time that I was able to allot. I had to give it to him. So thank you for coming back and joining us there, and we're going to start your morning. So I was thinking about this, especially last night when I had a kind of came in and I was decompressing, and I'm like, okay, how have I been starting my days well in this space of uncertainty and chaos? Kind of lines up with our last couple of years, hey? Oh yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah. Aw, thank you, Tana. You're so nice. I'm right. Get it together, Ozzy. Well, he is like the swelling in his leg has come down where he's last night, his leg was almost like 95% back to normal, which is a lot better than the stovepipe it was when I saw you. Yeah. Oh boy. Thank you, Alex. You're amazing. I appreciate you guys' support. I really do. I can't actually tell you how grateful I am. And I miss doing this. Like, even though I was totally caught in that moment with him and getting him through the next stage and to this other side where he could now mend, I do miss these shows. And so I do appreciate the love and support that you guys have. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so what have you been doing? Because starting your morning off is such an important thing. How we start our mornings, our energy to thought, our thought to, which then becomes our daily creation and what we're putting into our day. Not, in the external mindset, but the internal mindset, the internal monologue, narrative, and story that we live by, that we promote, that we coach, that we unconsciously or consciously, depending on where you are in your journey and what's going on and what underlining experiences you've had that are driving that narrative, that story, that mindset. So when I get into chaotic moments, we all have emotions. We all have things that go on through our head, and and I do, and I fully admit it, that I do look at what the worst case scenario is. I kind of, understand that could be a possibility, but I don't sit there and I don't rest in it. If it happens, then it is, I will do everything I can in my power not to get to that point. However, then I come back and I go, okay, so what are our positive outcomes? What are our best case scenarios? And what do I need to do? What process do I need to do on the daily to help me get there, so that process is in flow, and then the results will be what they were meant to be. And I kind of understand, and I am a firm believer in that. If I stay in my process and I do everything within my power to create the outcome I'm looking and working towards, if another outcome happens, I've done what I can. And I understand that sometimes our souls have a different plan. And I learned this in soul regression sessions with a friend of mine who was diagnosed with cancer several years ago. And when we were going through and doing soul regression sessions to work through what was, what she felt her soul was trying to tell her during this process, there were things that we could absolutely shift, absolutely change. Like, we had this great flow of unwinding all the emotional burdens, the baggage, the experiences, the shock, the trauma, the perceptions, the belief systems, the cords, the energies, the imprints, everything. Like, we unwound everything that had kind of held her in her space throughout her life. Now, that being said, we did all this amazing work. And in one of our sessions, when we were in the blueprint room, her blueprint had a destination, and that destination had a purpose, and everything. But what we were told in the blueprint was her journey was to unload everything and to release what had held her back in her life, so that when she came back into her next incarnation, that would not be on her to-do list per se. And her soul's like super matter of fact about this. It had a to-do list. It was working through its intended soul purpose and mission. And, this was all part of her process. And it was very interesting because the changes that she made had a lot to do with, the mindset and the way we carry our emotions. So that's what she was working through. And when we got through that, all of the emotions that she had buried deep within her throughout this entire incarnation and from past incarnations, because we were doing a lot of work and generational legacy, like she was doing the book. She was doing what we all are doing is through our shadow work, whether we're unwinding our own personal soul experiences or we're unwinding our generational legacy, ancestral soul experiences, so that the lineages and the web that is created through our connection to the past and those who have come before us is now clear. So those who come after us and at the same time as us in that same linkage and web of connection can live free of the old energies. And so, we keep creating space for flow and change and shifts so that we, ultimately get in touch and connected to our inner being that has the capacity to create beyond what we can imagine. And we're just, kind of slowly turning on the tap to access that ability to create beyond imagination at this point, because eventually it's going to be a part of our imagination and we'll be creating it. You think it, you have energy, you think it, you can put it into process. Now the glitch to manifesting and creating is what blocks you have that slow down the funnel of energy going into that reality, that image, that version of you that has what you are seeking. And when we clear the funnel, then the opportunity for it to come back to you multiplied there's no restrictions, there's no boundaries, there's no walls that it hits, that it bounces off and goes back to the ether, and then you got to go grab it again. And we get this cycle of, always chasing, never having. So, bringing that back to how do we utilize our morning routine when we're in a chaotic and stressful situations, or things are just like, tornadoes happen in life and they're not always fun. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really always excited about the tornado in my life. And they happen. And as much work as I do, I know I can't always avoid them, or I can't, dispel them or decrease them, but I can shift how I move through them and how they move through me and how they dictate my perception and point of view of what I'm working through. And there's the power in that, in my opinion, in my experience, that there's a lot of power in going, okay, tornado, I see you. I'm in the eye of the storm. However, I can see this other side where it's like the road where you just get totally bombarded and overrun with it, and it takes control of you and it runs wild, and you end up just tumbling like a tumbleweed across the landscape of your life. Or you're standing in the eye of the storm, and even though you're bubbling and you're wobbling and there's things coming at you and you're dodging and doing everything, you stay centered and grounded. You stay connected to your inner being. And that doesn't mean you won't tumble. That doesn't mean that you won't hit rock bottom. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have to climb up that mountain again. But it does mean that you come at it from a different point of view and a different, taking the experiences that you've had, the previous tornadoes that have come through your life, learning from them, adapting to them, and realizing what you need in this moment to help you stay as grounded and sturdy and structured as you possibly can, even though the world is topsy-turvy and totally upside down and everything is crumbling around you. And that doesn't mean you won't have emotions. That doesn't mean you're not gonna have moments where you're like done, like you just but you can utilize your toolbox that you have within you, the experience of your toolbox, to help you when you have those moments where everything feels hopeless and just like, oh, this is never ending, where as it's crumbling, you have a part of you that just keeps you a little bit sturdy enough that when you can and you have the opportunity, you can kind of tap into it and you can utilize that little bit of extra, that cord of strength that we all have buried in with us. When we activate it, it's there. And it, like I said, it doesn't always make things better in the moment, but it does help us get through day by day. And as we move through day by day, we find more strength. We find more of us that has the inner ability to continue to support ourselves and to continue to keep walking forward, even though we might feel like we're in quicksand 24/7. And that happens. Quicksand happens. But it doesn't mean the quicksand is going to be for the rest of your days. And so the morning routine, and I when I thought about this, it's really interesting, is we have a practice. And when things are going good, that practice is easy. It is. It's like, yeah, making time, got time. We're not, when life isn't in flow and the chaos and the stress gets a little like hits that red limit, that red meter, that's when our habits and our routines can be a part of our guide to keeping us in the process of moving forward, even if it's 10 steps backwards and 1 millimeter forward. So one of the routines that I utilize, especially, and I hunker down in it when I'm in chaos and stress, is that morning conversation, that little like 5-minute morning meditation. This morning I woke up at 4:30. I was like, who needs to be up at this time? I definitely didn't need to be up at this time, but I was, and there wasn't an option of hitting the snooze button because the snooze button wasn't working in my brain. I was just awake. And so I decided to I lengthen my morning routine. And my morning routine is just kind of going through a little process, little something that I work through that allows me to shed and release, clear and dissolve yesterday. And and I say you can do this in the morning, but you could also add this at your nighttime routine. I mainly do it in the morning, but there are days when I've had really heavy days, or when we're in sessions, whether it be my animal intuitive sessions, my Reiki sessions, my massage sessions with the horses and the dogs, or if it's the soul regression sessions with you guys, and we're either doing group or one-on-one, I get like really like ramped up. And for those of you who have ever had a one-on-one session with me, they are like 3 hours long and we really go through things. So when I have like a day where I have 3 or potentially 4 of those sessions, 4 doesn't happen often, but I get home and I'm in my moment. Or if I've worked with a lot of animals that day, I get home and I'm like, it's like I just am in my zone, right? In my soul zone. And my soul zone is really amped up, but that doesn't actually help me sleep because my vibration gets so high because I'm constantly channeling, connecting to your higher self, to your guides, to your past incarnate, and we're just going, right? The energy is big. And so that energy doesn't help me rest. And so one of the things that I go through is this little mantra where I give myself permission to clear, release, and dissolve any and all experiences. Now, in the morning, I use yesterday. At night, I use today. So creating habits and patterns, keeping me in the past. And I imagine that energy flushing out, and I give myself permission to release and clear from your body, your mind, your emotions, your energetic field, releasing and clearing the shock and trauma, the incarnations, the past, the present, the cords, the linkages, the webs, the belief systems, the various belief systems, the energies, the thoughts. I release and clear from your body, from your mind, from your emotion, from your energetic aura. And I sit there and I breathe through this. So in this process, I'm usually sitting up. I don't do it laying down for some reason. And I don't know why. I just always prefer it. There's no right or wrong way to do this, except do not do this when your attention needs to be somewhere else, because I've done that. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I really hope that I at every stop sign and green light and red light. So because I go into trance really, really fast, really easily. And so don't recommend it doing when you're cooking, because I've done this when I'm cooking and I'm not gonna lie, that nail has suffered from it. Luckily, it didn't suffer long, but it has suffered. So take it from my experience. It's something you just want to give yourself time to do on your own, and you just want to give yourself permission to release, clear, and dissolve any and all experiences from yesterday, creating patterns and habits, keeping you stuck in your past or future. For those of you who are in the when instead of the then mode mindset, you can adapt this. And then giving yourself permission to release, clear, and dissolve from your body, your mind, your emotion, and your energetic aura and energy field. Any experiences creating and keeping you stuck in your past, releasing and clearing the shock, the trauma, the webs, the linkages, the impressions, the imprints, the cords, the energies, the thoughts, the belief systems, the various belief systems, and anything that you're holding on from yesterday or tomorrow. And just allowing and imagining this beautiful cord of light and this beautiful glow starting at your skull up the top of your crown and just working through you, clearing, releasing all the way down to your earth star, so that the cord of connection from your higher self down to your earth star is clear. And you just kind of tap into that. You kind of, once you get that feeling of, okay, yeah, I can feel the energy flow moving. If there's anything blocked, just step into that block, ask it, feel into it, see what it is, and then give yourself permission to release, clear, and dissolve any habits and patterns creating, and then utilizing the word or the impression that you got from any time or place, dimension, plane, universe, multiverse, timelines, forwards or backwards, or reality. And then releasing and clearing the shock, the trauma, the linkages, the webs, the imprints, the impressions, the belief systems, the various belief systems, the energies, the cords, the karma, the thoughts from any time or place across all time and all dimensions. And then again, using that image of light, let it flow through you, through your body, through your mind, through your emotions, and through your energetic aura, fully and completely, immediately and permanently. And then when you feel like refreshed and clear and cleansed, again, check in with that connection to your higher self, check into that connection with your earth star, and feel the energy from your earth star coming up from Mother Gaia, from your higher self down into your home base. And when that feels complete, you count yourself up from 1 to 5. So this will jumpstart your day so that you're not starting in yesterday or you're not starting in tomorrow. It kind of gets you recentered back into your present now. And when we start our present now, we have the opportunity when we, and you can add this on to the end of that once you feel connected and clear, where everything is released, cleared, and dissolved. That is kind of mumble jumbling in your energetic field, your body, your mind, your emotion, that you can now do yourself coaching, and you can direct and say, I direct my subconscious mind that I am ready to receive positive energy, ready to feel that energy of motivation, inspiration, synchronicities, and being aware at the subconscious and the everyday conscious level to recognize those synchronicities that are aligned for my highest and greatest good, opening the door for, and then think about the things that you want to achieve that day to successfully move in flow through our day. My day, achieving blah, 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 set goals, and then take a moment to visualize yourself at the end of your day achieving your goals, and feel the feelings and bring the feelings in and make them bigger and stronger till you can feel them in your body, in your mind, in your emotion, and in your energetic field. And after you add that step, we're gonna then count yourself out. So depending on how much time you have, what you feel that day, there are 2 really easy, simple options to create, unwind, let go, release, and then rebuild. So that you've let go of the energy that isn't serving you, the thoughts, the belief systems, the webs, linkages, the ideas, the cords, the karma, the energy, the trauma, the shock, the emotional wounds, the burdens. Depending on what you're feeling, you're going to use your verbiage, because your verbiage, your subconscious mind understands, and you've made space. So filling that space with how you and what you are working towards with your process, the emotions you want to start creating from and downloading into your reality, and feeling it move through your feet and your higher self will really create a really wonderful flow of energy that is going to go out to the universe and come back to you multiplied in that space, in that vibration, in that frequency. So this is a great way to either reset your day. And if you're having, a day where you're really amped up before you go to bed, this is another way just to kind of download. You have those nights where you're like, I can't sleep. And this is another option to writing down everything, like journaling and getting it out of your mind. You can do this with your journaling, or if you find that the journaling isn't getting you the whole process, you can try this process. And then if you need to add the last little notes of what you need to get out of the mind, the head, the everyday consciousness, so that you can allow yourself that permission to rest now and receive that rejuvenating space of slumber, or setting your day up so you wake up and you've hit the ground running. And there's nothing like hitting the ground running. I don't know about you guys, but there's something about starting your day with hitting the ground running, even if it is hitting the ground running and enjoying that cup of coffee curled up on your couch reading a good book on a weekend or a day off, or just kind of giving yourself that little you time and that self-care time. And one thing this habit, this routine can do is it can begin to show you your patterns and your cycles, your reoccurring patterns that are a part of you that maybe need a bit of a deeper dive. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just that surface stuff that needs to be cleared out so that you are back into your zone, into your flow. But it will start to highlight some things that, you may start seeing some trends, and that will give you an avenue to explore if you choose to dive deeper, to understand why this reoccurring thought or belief system is coming up for you, or why this reoccurring block or barrier is keeping you stuck in your past, or is preventing you from moving forward into your desired outcome and creating your desired outcome and reaching your soul's potential and stepping into your soul mission and flow. So just some ways to kind of redefine your day. So yeah, there we go, guys. That is what I wanted to share with you. And we're going to actually on Wednesday, because we're going to be back into our guided hypnosis, we're going to take you through this process. So I'm going to pick a topic and we're going to take you through this process. So I'm going to walk you through it so that you can enjoy it, feel it, see it, and experience it. But I wanted to put it out there today so you guys can kind of sit and mull with it, see, okay, yeah, so yeah, this is what I need to, this works for me. This resonates with me. I'm going to give this a go. So if you guys are interested in it, you're like, yeah, I like this process. This process could be fun. And I really feel like it's like, yeah, aligns with where, something I could get behind. Join us next Wednesday, which is October. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. You guys, where did September and August go? October 11th. So we will be live October 11th, and we will be going through this process. I will be extending the process to give you kind of the full version, but so that you can experience it and potentially utilize it. And I'm going to try to make this process so you guys can fill in the blanks, because yes, you know what? I can think of a lot of things. Your higher selves always connect, and they always give me lots of tools and ways to really help you in the very best way I can. But think about what it is that day. Make your list so that we can go through your list and start shedding, so you can feel the difference as you go into your everyday possibilities and realities. So thank you guys for your time. I've missed you and I super appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. And for those celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend, happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you have some turkey. I'm hoping to get some myself, and just take time for you. You're amazing. You are worth it, and you've got this. And no matter how big the storm is, there are tools in your toolbox, whether we are conscious of them or unconscious of them. You know what? They're there, and just giving yourself a pause daily will help you access them more clearly, more easily, and more abundantly. And even if in the moment you're like, I don't know what this is doing for me, every day that you give yourself the opportunity, the funnel of connection, inspiration, and communication with your higher self, with your soul self, your self source, and soul space deepens and expands and clears. So thank you for your time, Alex. Have a wonderful weekend. And Tana, have a great weekend. See you sooner than later. And thank you for your energy, your compassion, your thoughts, your prayers for Ozzy, and your loving support. Just so much love back to you. All right, beautiful souls. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Cheers.